Swamin namaste natalokabandho karunya sindho patitam bhavabdhau mamuddharatmiya kataksha drishtya rijvyati karunya sudhabhivrishya Swamin namaste Swamin namaste Swamin namaste Swamin namaste Vamshi vibhushitakaran navaneeradabhat Pitambarat arunabimbafaladharoshtat Purnendu sundaramukhad aravindanetrat Krishnat param kimapi tattvamaham na jane Krishnat param kimapi tattvam aham na jane Lokanunmadayan shrutir mukharayan kshoniruhan harshayan Shailan vidravayan mrigan vivashayan govrindamanandayan Gopan sambhravayan munin mukulayan saptaswaran jrimbhayan Omkarathamudirayan vijayate Vamshi ninada shishoho Omkarathamudirayan Vijayate Vamshi ninada shishoho Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. Today, being the Janmashtami day, I thought that I will talk about Krishna. I'll just talk what Krishna is, what he did, my own feelings, and what many of you know. Today is Janmashtami, and today, at the middle of night, when the constellation and the star Rohini took their position in the sky, this little Krishna was born. This name Krishna, when we hear, I think most of us, we are filled with some kind of melting in the heart, feeling of a delight, a joy, a feeling of one indescribable ananda. We cannot express it. There is always a feeling as if everything is lighted, everything is joyful. And when we think about him, it is a person who is very near, very dear, every moment's companion. He is there in joy, he is there in sadness, in all our emotions. He is there as our indweller. Now, who this Krishna is? Who is he? We know him, we have known about him. Most of us, we read Bhagavad Gita. We read the Bhagavatam and we are very happy about him. But who is he? Krishna himself in Bhagavad Gita says, Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate. He says, I, the Supreme, am the source of everything. Everything in this universe, it is from me. From me alone, everything is activated. Aham sarvasya prabhavaha. Mattaha sarvam pravartate. Not only that, I am the source of everything, I also activate everything that happens here. My dear children, when we think about Krishna, we read about him, we hear about him, we chant his name, we should not forget this, that he is everywhere, that he is in us, in our own heart, as our indweller, as our soul, and we should be always connected to him. Whatever we do, in all our activities, all our thoughts, all our speech, all our interactions, we must feel him, his presence inside us. Krishna also says to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, Gatir bharta prabhu sakshi nivasa saranam surit prabhava pralaya sthanam nidhanam bijam avyayam. He says, the Supreme is the goal. This Supreme, he says, I am the Supreme and from me everything is born. And I activate everything. And he says, that Supreme who I am is the goal, Gatihi, Bharta, the sustainer, Prabhu, the Lord, Sakshi, the witness, Nivasaha is the ultimate abode, Sharanam, he is the refuge, benefactor, friend, Suhrit. Then Prabhavaha Pralayasthanam. It is the Prabhava is source and Pralaya is the dissolution where everything dissolves, the terminus. Sthanam Nidhanam Bijam Abhyayam is the substratum and the treasure house and imperishable seed of everything. Abhyayam Bijam. So he is the Supreme Lord. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He is Brahman. He is all-pervading. He is the soul of all, protector and friend of all. Eternal, imperishable, he is. He is infinite. He is birthless. He is deathless. He is one without a second. That Krishna we are talking about. And today, that Krishna took incarnation, his divine incarnation, in the womb of Devaki, as a child to Devaki and Vasudeva. He was born in the prison in Mathura. About that Krishna, how he was born, how he grew up, and what are his Leelas and excellences, what are his sports. Everything is written in all our scriptures. Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahabharatam, all this. He took birth as a divine child. Vedavyasa, who has written the Srimad Bhagavatam, who has also composed Mahabharatam, has composed him, has brought him in as a divine child. And then he becomes the divine personality. What all he has done, he had to take birth in this universe because the earth had become full of evil people, cruelty, torture, falsehood, unrighteousness. Those become heavy and people were suffering. So Sri Krishna took birth. Sri Krishna, who is a part of Mahavishnu, he took birth in this earth. He got this incarnation. And we are worshipping him as the divine personality. My dear children, in this world people suffer a lot. There is fear, there is delusion, there is stress, there is strain, sorrow, and whatnot. And all those sufferings are because of the mistaken identity, that we forget that though I am the self, I am the soul, and I am not the body-mind intelligence complex. We forget that. And we identify ourselves with the changeful body, mind, etc., although we are the changeless soul or self. And from that mistaken identity, what happens? The I-ness comes, the mindness comes, and in all these lectures, in our scriptures, it is written, it is explained to us. Why? Because of this wrong knowledge, the mistaken identity, because of the delusion and ignorance, we suffer. From the I-ness, the mindness come. And whatever we feel that these belong to mind, we get associated and we suffer. So, what can take away the suffering of people? It is only when we think of our real identity, that I am the soul, I am God, I am Brahman, and by thinking that, constantly ruminating over that truth, then getting established in that, one attains liberation. This is what our scriptures tell us. Now, this incarnation, when Krishna has taken incarnation, there is a scope of having a loving relationship with the divine incarnation, with God. As long as we talk about the soul or Brahman, it is away from us. But when God comes in the human form and we are able to read about him, hear about him, his excellences, his deeds, and fill our mind in divinity and auspiciousness about his glories, about his excellences, about the sports that he did, about the Leela that he did, then our mind starts loving him. We can have this loving relationship with God when we start thinking about how he looks. Rupa Chintanam. His smiling face, his beautiful body, his excellences, by singing his praises, Gunakirtanam, and by remembering his Leela, Leela Smaranam. Rupa Chintanam, Gunakirtanam, and Leela Smaranam. When we have these three things together, we feel God surrounds us always. Like Prahlada, we always feel that God is surrounding us, enveloping us. He is embracing us always. And that is why we read these stories. These are not stories, my dear children. Having said all that, I tell you why I started saying all this and who is Krishna. And I started with this fact that when we talk about Krishna, we think about Krishna. He is a divine child. He is an eternal personality, eternal child. As an eternal child, he is born. As a divine child, he is born and he remains divine. Whenever we read about him, we hear about him from his childhood to his end day, what all he has done. Whenever, wherever, whoever reads about him or hears, always there is a divine joy. Always there is a divine joy. With any ordinary human being or a human child, we cannot write this kind of a composition, cannot be made. We cannot be hearing about ordinary human beings again and again. But for years and ages, these divine incarnations about him, especially Krishna, when we hear, when we read, when we get absorbed, we find supreme bliss in our mind. That Krishna has been born today. What did he do? He was born. As you know, he was born to Devaki and Vasudeva in the prison, and Kamsa was waiting for the child to be born. And then, when the child was born, Vasudeva took him to Brajabhumi, and there the children were switched. There Yashoda had given birth to a girl, and the girl was brought here, and this small Krishna was taken there. Nobody came to know. Because of the Yoga Maya, everybody fell asleep except Vasudeva, who took the child over his head and kept the child in Brajabhumi, in Brajaraja's, Nandagopa's house, palace, and came away. This you know. Slowly the children were growing, and I will tell you our story about Krishna. This story is, the children, Krishna and Balarama, they were growing. And when they were growing, they started playing, they started crawling, and while they were crawling, they would be so delightful to look at. Whoever looked at them, they were in supreme bliss. Why? Because Krishna was a divine child. He must be doing anything like any ordinary child, but being a divine child, as I am saying again and again, that when there is divinity associated, the supreme bliss is there anywhere and everywhere. So this divine child, Krishna, and Balarama together, his brother, they were growing up, they were crawling, they would go and catch hold of the cows and calves' tails, or they will go behind the peacocks and birds, or they will go and try to put their hands in the mouths of the dogs. So the mothers were always very, very worried. Since the children, just like a human child also, when they start running about, the mothers or the elders, they always have to run behind the children so that they don't do any mischief or they do not get into any kind of trouble or accident. Here also, Yashoda and Rukmini, both of them, they were always worried whether they will be going for household work or they will go behind the children so that the children do not get into any accidents. They had to save the children from cows, fire, cats, dogs, monkeys, knives, ponds, birds, thorns. There was a big courtyard, and the cows were tied at the end of the courtyard. The cows and calves were so fond of these children that they would always come to lick them, especially the calves. And Krishna would go and catch hold of the tail of the calves. Sometimes he will climb on the cow and try to catch hold of the horn. Sometimes there will be peacocks roaming about. He will try to go and run behind the peacocks. Sometimes there will be fire in one, some maybe fire is burning, something is being made there. As a child, not knowing, would try to put the hand inside. So these mothers were always running behind them. And not only the mothers, all the neighborhood women, they would all come in the morning, leaving their household work. They will come and they will try to take these children in their laps, or be very delighted looking at all the things that the children were doing, especially Krishna. Now, one day, when they were all there and Krishna and Balarama were playing, there came a Brahmin there. This Brahmin used to come there very often earlier, but for a long time now, he has not come. He had gone for some kind of solitary tapasya, austerity somewhere, and he stayed there for some time, quite long, and now he was coming there to Nandaraja and Yashoda's house after a long, long time. So, when he came, Yashoda and Nandaraja, they greeted, they did pranam, they offered him a seat, washed his feet, as is the custom. And after doing that, they offered him ghee, gave him an asan, they gave ghee and arghya, madhuparka, etc., flowers, and made him sit comfortably. After that, asked him, "Where did you go? You have not been coming here for a long time." So the Brahmin, he said that no, I had gone for austerity, so for a long time I could not come. Meanwhile, Krishna was playing in the courtyard and all the gopikas, they were surrounding him. Krishna was running about, sometimes crawling, sometimes running. So Yashoda brought Krishna in her lap because in this period Krishna was born. So thinking that the Brahmin has come and he is an ascetic Brahmin, Krishna should be blessed by him, Yashoda brought him here, and after doing pranam, she said, "O Lord, for a long time we are deprived of serving you. You have not been coming. Meanwhile, I have been blessed by this boy. So please bless him so that he has long life and also that he has a mind to serve the holy people as well as the gods. He should be growing up and be devotional. He should worship God and he should be serving the holy people." Now, this Brahmin, seeing the child, he thought, "Oh, now there is a child. Always when I came, Yashoda used to be very attentive in my service. She will make all arrangements. But now that there is a child, she may not be very free." So the Brahmin said, "Mother, I find that you are a little busy with your child. I bless your child that he has a long life and let all your wishes about him be fulfilled. But since you will be busy with your son, who is very small, I think I will go today, and after the child grows up, I will come. Because otherwise it will be very, very difficult for you to make arrangements for my bhiksha and other things." Whenever he would come, Yashoda would make arrangements for making some nivedyam, for which this Brahmin would make, and he would offer it to his Ishtadevata. And there, after making the payasam, which he would offer to the Ishtadevata, the Brahmin would do his japa, his meditation, then he will take the prasad and then leave. So the Brahmin thought that it will not be possible and told her that, let me go, I'll come some other time when this boy becomes older. So Yashoda, see, we should understand what kind of people they were. They were so much given to the service of the holy people. In Bhagavatam, if you read, you will find mostly in every skandha, the holy people, the Mahatmas have been praised and they have been told, people have been given advice what should be the way the holy people should be looked at, how one should do service to them. So, Yashoda, immediately he fell at his feet and said, what mistake have we done that you do not want to give us the opportunity to serve you, my dear Lord? Every time we have served you. Don't worry, we are householders. Our duty is to serve and be of service to the holy Mahatmas. Only because I have a son can I stop doing that service. There will be no difficulty, my dear Lord. I will make all arrangements for your puja and your nivedyam. Everything will be done. Please don't go away. We are householders. If you go away like this, then we will not be, it will be an inauspiciousness for us. So, and also she said, don't be worried that I have to be busy with my son. My son belongs to everybody. This is what. What is the difference between Krishna, the divine child, and any other ordinary child? Krishna belongs to everybody. And Krishna's mother has no possessiveness. Krishna is looked after by all. There is no competitiveness, no kind of jealousy between the mothers. Everybody loves him. Everybody looks after him. He is that, he has that divinity. So, Yashoda said, pointing to the courtyard, dear Lord, see, my child is playing with all the animals and birds, and there are so many other gopikas there looking after him. So no problem at all. So when she pointed towards Krishna, this Brahmin also looked at the child and felt, oh, I never noticed the child. This child is very beautiful, so sweet. There is something very strange and newness in him. And what sweetness is this? If I see once, I'm feeling like looking at him again and again. I'm having a darshana lalasa. He thought, okay, let me agree to Yashoda's request. I will be here. And let Yashoda make arrangements like the other times. I want to look at this boy. I don't know why I am getting so attracted to this child. Such sweetness, such gestures. And saying that, as he was looking on, he's saying this, Are, what is this? Just see in his mind. He's not telling and talking aloud. He's saying, Yashoda has asked him a question. Yashoda has requested, please don't go away. It will be inauspiciousness. So please agree. And said, look at my son. He is being looked after by others. I will not become busy. And the Brahmin has looked that side and got completely captivated by the sweetness and the glory of the young Krishna. Little Krishna. And looking that side, he's saying, thinking, he's seeing what is happening and telling in his own mind, look, oh, the child has embraced the calf with the left hand and with the right hand he is stroking the calf. So beautiful. This scene is so beautiful. The calf is enjoying, and with half closed eyes the calf is enjoying it. And I am enjoying that scene, he is telling himself. And then he says, oh, why the child is running off? He has left the calf and now he is running off. And oh, he is running behind a peacock. There, the peacock has come. That is why the child has left the calf and now he is running after the peacock. And then he says, oh, are, not one. So many peacocks have come. And the peacocks have surrounded him. And the peacocks are dancing. And the small child is between them in center. As the peacocks are dancing, the child is also moving and swinging his body. Oh, what sweetness. Then he says, my goodness, why the peacocks are going away? Then the gopikas have come. So the peacocks have felt frightened and they are going away. They are running away. No, they have not gone. They are standing near the wall. They are frightened of these gopikas, but they don't want to leave Krishna. So they have gone at a distance and they are standing there, still looking affectionately at Krishna. And what the gopikas are doing, they have all surrounded Krishna. Some are trying to take Krishna in their lap. Krishna doesn't want it. Krishna wants to run about, doesn't want to get caught and be in the lap at that point. So Krishna is running about, the gopikas are also running about. And he's running. And then he thinks, oh my goodness, it is coming towards me. The boy is coming towards me. No. It has gone away. It has gone away towards the other side. Then he understands that the boy is dancing and the gopikas are clapping. So he can see a little bit of the dance. But sometimes the gopikas are surrounding the boy in such a manner that he is not able to see. All this is happening when Yashoda has asked the Brahmin and requested him and is waiting for the Brahmin's reply. In that small little time, so many things are going on in his mind, and he's thinking, why they are surrounding him in this manner? I am not able to see this sweet boy now. What shall I do? I think it's a very beautiful dance that he is dancing. Then he says, the boy is so beautiful. The sweetness of his gesture is incomparable. How beautiful the dance must be, and I am missing all of it. Okay, I think I will not leave Nandagopal's house. I will agree to Yashoda's saying and request, and I will take bhiksha here only. Yashoda was waiting for his reply. Then he told Yashoda that, okay, you can arrange for my puja and my bhojan here only. I will be here for some time. But be a little fast. I have to go to some other place, distant place. So I want to finish everything quickly and then go. So Yashoda said, we are very, very blessed that you have agreed. And the Brahmin said, I find that your Shraddha and Bhakti for gods and Brahmins, whatever it was earlier, after you have got the child, it has deepened a lot. Much more it has become. So okay, I will wait. So Yashoda said that I am doing all arrangements in a very little time. I will do everything. So the Brahmin always used to prefer to be at a quieter place. So all the cows had gone, so the goshalas were all empty. So Yashoda went to one of the goshalas, which was a little away, and cleaned it, then smeared cow dung there, and then after that made all arrangements. What did he first actually see? She was the queen of the Gopas, Nanda Raja's wife. But for the sadhu seva, she is doing it herself. She took bath, went and cleaned the goshala, smeared cow dung. Then one by one she was bringing all the items. She made a new oven. Then she brought fragrant milk from the cow. She milked the cow herself. And the description of the cows is Trinacharini and Padmagandhini. That is, there is a fragrance of lotus in the milk of that cow. So that cow is named Padmagandhini. So she brought the milk and kept all the pots and other vessels. She brought the ladles. She brought one asan on which Ishtadevata will be, and she brought rice, jaggery, camphor, kesar, ghee, everything was brought. And then she kept all these things near the oven. After that, she went and drew water from the well herself. That also she kept ready. She brought golden vessels in which the payasam will be offered to the Ishtadevata. And after that, he went to the Brahmin. The Brahmin was still sitting there watching the child. Went there, did pranam and said, Lord, everything is ready, please come. So actually the Brahmin was so much captivated, enchanted by looking at Krishna, he was not wanting to get up. But he had to. So he came, and seeing everything, he was very happy. He was very happy and said that I am very happy. You do one thing, I'll make the payasam, I will offer it to my Ishtadevata, and after that I will have my prasad, bhojan, and then I will go. So Yashoda went away. Also the Brahmin said, you better go to your son. It's a long time you have been doing service for me. Your child must be very hungry. Go and give milk. And in the mind he was thinking that, I should have told Yashoda that she could have made arrangements in a goshala which was near to the boy. Then I could have cooked and also looked at the boy. In his mind, always the form and the smile, the gestures, the gait of that small little boy whom he felt is the small child of Yashoda and Nandaraja. It was coming to his mind. Such sweetness, such beauty, and such feeling of delight. Now, the Brahmin started cooking. Yashoda went away, took the son. All the gopikas, they were keeping the child with them. They also had to go to their own houses. So they said that, see, your mother has come, go to your mother. So with a big jump, Krishna came to the mother's lap and wanted to drink milk. Yashoda went with the child inside. And here the Brahmin started cooking. He started cooking the payasam. And after cooking the payasam, he offered the payasam. He put the asan there, offered the payasam in the golden plate, and he thought that I will do my puja and worship, and after that I will take the prasad. But he was very, very surprised at himself. Even while he was cooking, cooking for what? Whom? Cooking for his Ishtadevata. That is the nivedyam, the bhoga, that he is going to offer to his Ishtadevata. When the mind should be very one-pointed, the mind should be thinking of the Ishta or God alone. He was finding that he has been so enchanted by that little boy that his mind was again and again thinking about the sweetness of that small child. However much he was trying to bring his mind onto his Ishta, onto his mantra, he was finding that the mind is going and thinking about the little child. Anyway, he finished his payasam making and offered it at the seat. There was an asana, and then he closed the door of that room, came out, sat outside, sat in meditation and kept on chanting his mantra. And after some time, when he thought that everything is over, the offering of payasam to his Ishta, that is over, he opened the door and entered. Now he would be taking the prasad. And what does he see? He sees that small boy Krishna on his asana, where the Ishta Devata is. He's sitting there and is taking payasam from the vessel. In one hand is payasam, he's putting in his mouth. Another hand also he's putting in the mouth. Half of his body is on the asana and half of it below. Seeing, initially he got surprised. The Brahmin got surprised. He felt that, oh, this is that way. This is my Ishta Devata's murti. I worship my Ishta Devata in this murti alone. But this is the boy. This is Yashoda's child. Why has he come here? That first reaction vanished, and within no time he started becoming angry. What is this boy doing here? He spoiled everything. He did not allow my offering, and he is taking it himself. How can it be? Why did not Yashoda control the boy? Why did Yashoda has left the boy like this so that the boy has come here and hindered everything? And then he was thinking, where from the boy came? When I was cooking, nobody was there. And then I closed the door. Where from the boy came inside? Then again he thought, oh, maybe when I was cooking, he must have crawled inside and hid himself. And later, when I went out, he is taking the payasam. Anyway, he started calling out, Yashoda, Yashoda. Yashoda actually, she was giving milk to the child. The child also fell asleep. The mother, Yashoda, she also fell asleep. Hearing that, she just got up and came running. And she was saying, my lord, is everything over? Shall I give you water to wash your hand? And the Brahmin was angrily saying, what washing my hand? I have not been able to take anything. Even I could not offer the payasam to my Ishtadevata. See what your son has done. Then Yashoda found the small child still there, frightened. The eyes were full of scare. It was very frightened. And with 2 hands full of payasam and all the mouth full of payasam, still sitting there. Yashoda just started crying, saying that, oh, what have you done? Now what shall we do? You have hindered the worship of a Brahmin. He may curse you. You have been saved from the asuras like Putana, Rakshasi, then Trinavarta, Shakatasura, all these people, all these asuras you have been saved from. Now, who is going to save you from the anger of this Brahmin? And then she fell at the feet of the Brahmin that please don't curse him. He is a small boy. The Brahmin said, did I not tell you, with a little boy you will have difficulty. That is why I wanted to go away right in the beginning. But anyway, I am not angry with your boy. He is small. What does he know? Does he know about good and bad? He has come, he has seen payasam, so he is eating. I don't know where from he came. But what I have understood is that it will be difficult for me to come and be served here. So I am going. Yashoda cried a lot and said that please give me another chance. I will again do everything. Plus, please don't go away without taking your food. So since she was crying a lot, the Brahmin said, okay, you do it, But see this time that this boy should not come. So Yashoda said that, no, I will go and keep him with myself. He will not be able to come. So she made everything again, took bath again, made everything that she had done earlier, all the arrangements, and then called the Brahmin and asked him, please, this is everything I have done according to your instructions. And taking Krishna, she went. She was sitting with Krishna. Meanwhile, Nandaraja came back and asked, has the Brahmin been served well? Did he take food? Has he gone away? Then Yashoda started telling him all that has happened. While they were busy talking, this Krishna again went away. They did not see. And very soon there was again an angry voice, Yashoda, come here. Yashoda and Nandaraja both went and saw the same scene, the same thing. So they started shivering. Nandaraja started scolding that small boy. What can they do? They were afraid of the Brahmin's anger. And Yashoda, like an uprooted tree, she fell down. And she was crying. Brahmin said, no, I am not angry with him. He's a small boy, he doesn't know anything. See, children like sweet. He tasted the payasam, he liked it. So, he somehow came out again and searchingly he has come again to the payasam, to eat the payasam. So, it is not his fault. But anyway, you allow me to go. And don't worry, don't feel that there will be inauspiciousness. You do one thing, whatever curd is there or any sweet is there made of milk, you give me all that. I will take that and I will go. Don't ask me to take food here again. But then they pleaded with him, fell at his feet, and all the Gopa and Gopikas also understanding that something is going on, they also came. They also felt that it will be inauspicious, so they also pleaded with him. All of them said that we will take the child to another house and keep guard. Every one of us will keep guard. So the Brahmin, he was a soft-natured Brahmin. He said, okay then, you make arrangements again. So for the third time, arrangements were made. And this time, they took Krishna away, some nearby only, but all of them were under guard. Now, the Brahmin was making payasam. But, again, he was not able to concentrate on his Ishta. His mind was only finding a small boy with all payasam smeared all over the face, looking at him, sitting on the seat of his Ishtadevata and staring at him. However much he tried to take his mind away from the child and do his mantra, repeat his mantra, he was failing in that. Anyway, he somehow started making the payasam and continued with the cooking mission. Again the payasam, when it was ready, he poured it on the golden pot, placed tulasi over it and offered it to the Ishta. He went out, closing the door again, sat outside, chanted his mantra and later on again opened the door. And as he was chanting the mantra, sitting outside also, the face of the Nandanandana, the Balagopala, was coming to his mind. He's opened the door, and what is to be seen? The same scene. Where from this Krishna has come, he didn't know. This time the Brahmin did not react. Last two times he had become angry. Angry over whom? Angry over Yashoda. What is this? Yashoda is asking me to stay here and take food and she doesn't control the child. This time he did not react. His mind did not react. No reaction came to his mind, but his mind got filled with an unprecedented, unexperienced bhava, bliss, which he had not known before, which filled his mind full of delight. He didn't know what it is. Once, Saundarya Rasadhara, a beautiful nectarine stream, incomparable, soaked through his eyes, soaked and taken through his eyes. The Saundarya Rasadhara, nectarine, beautiful nectarine stream, which he was witnessing, seeing through his eyes. Seeing whom? Seeing that small Krishna. And through his eyes, that nectarine stream entered his mind and heart and inundated his mind and heart. He was full. He could not speak. He did not react. He understood that something is melting in his heart. For years and years he has done tapasya. He has remained an ascetic in solitary places. He has chanted hymns. He has done japa with his mantra. He has meditated and contemplated. But he had felt, he did not feel this melting all this while. Something as if something has got melted and gone away from his heart. He felt light, lighter, expanded, full of luminosity, as if he spread everywhere. Wherefrom that was happening? The stone which was blocking his heart all these days, as if it was removed. And a pure stream of supreme bliss started coming out in the form of tears ceaselessly. With this melting, what happened? Tears started, profuse tears started coming out. Anandashru. It is not a tear of grief. It was a tear of ananda. His body was filled with romaharshana, horripilation. Like an enchanted person, he closed the door behind him. He entered the room. He has just opened the door and he saw that boy, again taking payasam. And all these things happened in him. This nectarine stream of ananda, ceaseless tears and horripilation all over the body. So he closed the door behind him and he started going near the little lad, that boy. He started walking towards him. This time, the boy's eyes were not frightened. The boy, in a very lisping tone, very sweet and soft tone, said, as if he was pouring out nectar, nectarine words, he just spoke out. He said, lispingly, you are calling me again and again. You are chanting so many mantras, calling me, asking me to come and take the payasam. And when I am actually coming and I am actually taking payasam, why are you annoyed? Why are you angry? Why are you wanting me to go away from here? Lispingly he said, you are calling me with your mantra, asking me to come and eat the payasam. And when I really come, you just do not allow me to eat and you are angry. Not only that, you want me to go away from here. The Brahmin was startled. He shivered and he was without any word. He was astounded and he was dumbstruck with amazement. What has happened? What is this? He was thinking, who is this boy? What is he saying? I'm not able to understand anything. Am I in my senses? Am I hearing properly? Is it exactly what the boy is saying? And at that point, the little boy, Yashodanandana, he looked at the Brahmin's face and said, with merciful eyes, he said, "Are you not able to recognize me? To have my darshan, for many, many janmas you have been doing tapasya, and in this janma also. All this time you have done intense austerity, intense contemplation, fasting, and worship, what all you have done. And when I have come in front of you, you are not able to recognize me." And then saying this, the little boy said, "This is the truth in this world. This is the truth in this world. Nobody wants to see me. They are only happy chanting mantras, chanting hymns, placing flowers, giving offerings. They are only happy with that. If at all some are interested to find me, to see me, they also very often get stuck in their rituals, their mantras, their meditation, their scriptural studies." My dear children, this is what this little Krishna said. This is what we always tell in these lectures. Reading, hearing, listening, contemplating, all that is secondary. What we have to do is to understand and be established in the knowledge that I am the self, I am the soul. God is all pervading. God is inside me as my indweller. As He is all pervading, He is everywhere, He is inside me also. All our scriptures, they tell us only that. But very often people get stuck into this paraphernalia of austerities and forget what is the aim. What is the aim? The aim has to shine in front of us. What is our aim? To realize the self, to realize God, realize Brahman. Established where we'll find that there is no more want. There is nothing more superior than that. To be Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. This is what is the aim. So this Brahmin, although he has been in the austerities, so many days, so many janmas of worship he was doing, austerities he was doing, he did not understand what is this. And when Lord gave him darshan actually, after saying all this little boy said, "Although you could not recognize me, I am feeling compassionate. You have done a lot of austerities, so I have revealed myself to you, and so that you can recognize me." Saying this, the Lord disappeared. And this Brahmin, he understood. He got the knowledge. He then took the payasam as prasad. He took the payasam, he smeared it all over his face and mouth and hands and body as prasad. He kept it in his utterium, tied it to be taken wherever he goes. And his whole heart was full with that presence. That presence who had got revealed in his front, his Ishtadevata, the Lord. And he then left. He opened the door. Yashoda and Vasudeva, they were there. They asked him, "Was everything all right?" He said, "Yes, but I have had an experience which I have never had." And saying this, he left. I thought of telling this story because this story, as in any other story, no story is just a story. We have to understand the deeper meaning in this. All these sessions, in the last few sessions, I was telling, discussing, sharing with you who is a knower, what are his qualities, that the qualities of a knower becomes the sadhana for the seekers and sadhakas. And what does Krishna say? Krishna says that, he says, Jnani is myself. Out of everybody, he is the most dear to me. He says, he is a self. Jnanis are he himself. So, here, today, in this day auspicious, which is very, very auspicious, very divine, we are here remembering that Krishna, for whom Jnani is his own self. He is very dear to the Jnanis, and the Jnanis are very dear to him. We have been talking about the Jnanis, and now we have come to this, that Krishna, who is going to take birth today. The clock is ticking. You know, we have a little ceremony. We do not do much of celebration here for Janmashtami, but we have decorated a small swing and Krishna. Some of the inmates have decorated, and after this, Swamiji will also come and will be with the Krishna for some time, maybe chanting from Bhagavatam. And as the clock is ticking by, 12 o'clock, Krishna will take birth. I would like to share with you how the whole nature welcomed Krishna, how everywhere it was Ananda and Ananda alone. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, these are the shlokas which Vedavyasa has written. Beautiful shlokas. Atha sarva gunopetaha kala paramashobhanaha yarhe vajana janmarksham shantakshagrahatarakam disha prasedurgaganam nirmalodduganodayam mahi mangala bhuishtha Puragrama Brajakara Nadyas Prasanna Sanila Hrada Jalaruhashriyaha Dvijalikula Sannadas Tabaka Banarajayaha Vavau Vayussukha Sparshaha Punyagandha Vahas Shruchihi Agnayascha Dvijatinam Shantas Tatra Samindhata Manam Syasan Prasannani Sadhunam asuradruham jayamane ajane tasmin nedurdundubhaya samam jaguh kinnara gandharvas tushtubuh siddhacharanaha vidyadhariyascha narituhu apsarobhi samam muda mumuchur munayo devaha sumanamsi mudanvitaha Mandam mandam jaladhara jagarju anusagaram nishithe tama udbhute jayamane janardane devakyam devarupinyam vishnu sarvaguhashayah avirasid yatha prachyam dishinduriva pushkalaha. It talks about how the whole nature prepared themselves. Who was coming? The great Lord was coming. He is taking birth for what? To remove unrighteousness, to remove cruelty, to remove evil from this land, the earth. And this is how the whole nature prepared themselves. It says in the first sloka, Atha sarva gunopetaha अथ सर्वगुणोपेतः कालः परमशोभनः यर्हेवाजनजन्मर्क्षं शान्तर्क्षग्रहतारकम्. He says, Shuka is saying, who is telling whom? Shukadeva is telling King Parikshit about the birth of Krishna. He is telling how the whole thing has been, the whole nature has prepared themselves, welcoming the Lord. He says, Atha, now, sarvagunopetaha, all around endowed with all qualities, paramashobhanaha kalaha, a very favorable and auspicious time has arrived. Very favorable and auspicious time has arrived. Yarhi eva, when ajana janmarksham, Shantakshagrahatarakam, the Rohini star was in the ascendant. At that favorable time, the Rohini star ascended. And all other stars and planets were in a very beneficial disposition. Shantakshagrahatarakam, with the news of the arrival of Govinda, all other stars and planets, sun, moon, everything, all other planets and stars became peaceful, leaving their fierce and unfavorable positions. Disha prasedurgaganam nirmalodu ganodayam mahimangala bhuishta puragrama brajakara. Disha praseduh gaganam nirmalodu ganodayam. All the directions became pleased and delightful in the sky. Number of stars shone as if they were standing with plates of diamond flowers. They are twinkling. They were as if standing with plates of diamond flowers to be offered at the feet of the Lord. Disha praseduh gaganam nirmalodu ganodayam mahi mangala bhuishta puragrama vrajakara. The earth, whose all villages, cowherd settlements and mining quarries became all auspicious. In the arrival of the auspicious Lord, the whole earth became full with auspiciousness and delight. Every city, town, village, fields became a sporting place of auspiciousness, ananda. The streets became clean, houses decorated, conches and drums being heard, stutis and mantras recited. Everywhere in the city, Mahi Mangala Bhuishta Puragrama Vrajakara. And this is what happened to every place. Not only the towns and city and villages and fields, but the streets became clean, houses were decorated, conches and drums were being heard, stutis and mantras being recited, and every place became auspicious, filled with auspiciousness, filled with ananda. Nadya prasanna salila hrada jala ruhashriyah dvijalikula sannada stavaka vanarajayah. Nadya prasanna salilaha. This delight spread to the rivers and forests. Secret news of the Lord's descent has come. The river flowed, singing songs, and it was flowing dancingly towards the ocean. It is flowing towards the ocean with its own delight, dancingly. With what news? That the Lord is coming. That the Lord is coming. And the water of the rivers were crystal clear, very, very clear. Radha jala ruhashriyaha. The lakes are full of lotuses. The lakes became full of lotuses and looked so beautiful. The lakes were not able to flow like the water. In the lakes, in the river water was flowing. In the lakes, the water cannot flow. But there were so many lotuses. So the lakes were looking so beautiful, so pure, so sublime. It is night, mind you. It is night, the moon is shining. And the forest got ready and beautified itself. Nobody to see its beauty, but still it felt that I have to beautify myself. I have to be ready to welcome and receive the Lord. So the trees got bedecked with new leaves and flowers. Dvijali kula sannada stavaka vanarajayaha vavau vayus sukhasparshaha punnagandha vahashchuchihi. And the vayu, the soft breeze, punnagandha vahashchuchihi sukhasparshaha. The breeze was soft and it was pleasing to touch. It was blowing softly. It was blowing, dancing over the leaves and the flowers, carrying divine fragrance everywhere. Divine fragrance of the flowers that have bloomed in the forest. Nobody to see them, nobody to praise them, but because the Lord is coming, they are at their best. And the breeze is flowing over them, taking the fragrance everywhere. Agnayascha dvijatinam shantas tatra samindhata. So the impending advent of the Lord made the sleeping birds get up and fill the forest with their chirping and singing. They jumped from one branch to another in joy and delight. In arrival of Sri Govinda, the earth has become auspicious. The water was decorated by the lotus, the wind by fragrance, the sky with stars. So the fire thought, I should not be left behind. Of all the Panchabhutas, the fire could not keep quiet. Everybody rejoiced in the Mahotsava. Everybody was rejoicing. So the fire thought, now it is my chance. Why should I be left behind? Actually, at that hour of the night, all the Homakundas had died down. The sages and the munis, their Brahmins, their sacrifice was over. So the sacrificial fire was nearly dying down. And suddenly, when the fire, the Agni, he saw that everywhere everybody is rejoicing, out of nothing, it also started rising with flames. And the flames started rising with delight and dancing in a clockwise manner. It did not wait for ghee, it did not wait for mantra, it did not wait for fuel. Dancing and rejoicing in the lonely Yajñashala, it was welcoming the Lord Janardana. Manam syasan prasannani sadhunam asuradruham jayamane ajane tasmin nedurdundu bhayo divi. Manam syasan prasannani sadhunam asuradruham. See, all along, All these slokas, it is telling about the nature, the Panchabhutas. Now, this Ananda, the nature, was full of delight, full of rejoicing. And that Maha Ananda was not only in the outside world, it manifested in the internal world of mankind also. Suddenly everybody started feeling an unexpected Ananda and bliss, completely filling the hearts, mostly of the holy people, the devotees, the Mahatmas. They were filled with Mahananda. They did not understand where from this bliss is coming, what it is from, where is it coming from. Their eyes shed profusely with the touch of this unique delight and captivated them. They prayed to the Lord so that that Ananda should stay with them permanently. This was their condition. The Devas, they also experienced peace and fearlessness. In that period, when the Asuras, they were torturing and they were fighting the Devas were always in fear. Now suddenly the Devas felt peace and fearlessness, and they understood it is time, it is the moment when the Lord is going to incarnate. With the advent of Sri Govinda, the devotee's heart filled with Purnananda. Even those who are not that devoted, they also felt a lot of Ananda looking at the nature at that period of night. They felt very happy. Only those who are the Asuras, who have Asuric nature, who have in them these traits like anger, hatred, and arrogance, pride, cruelty, ignorance, delusion, hypocrisy. Those people, Asuras, having Asuric tendencies, they were suddenly filled with lot of fear and insecurity. And that is how Kamsa, who was waiting and waiting for Devaki's 8th child to be born, he suddenly became filled with lot of fear. Now, the joy of arrival of Govinda, which spread in the sky, in the air, in the fire, in water, in earth, in the rivers, forests, mountains, etc., on one hand filled the minds of the devotees with supreme bliss, and in the minds of those who were Asuric, their minds were filled with lot of fear and insecurity. Kinnara Gandharvaha Manam Syasan Prasannani Sadhunam Asuradruhan Jayamane Ajane Tasmin Nedurdundhubhayo Divi. So, accepting the minds of evil ones like Kamsa, the minds of all good men felt peace within. In the heavens, the kettle drums, the dundubhis, the celestial kettle drums, they were being sounded. Tasmin ajane jayamane, announcing the imminent birth of the Lord who has no birth. Ajane jayamane, the one who has no birth, was taking birth, was about to take birth. And to announce that moment, the heavenly dundubis, heavenly drums, they started sounding everywhere, along with the nature, getting ready to welcome him, to receive him, and they were all rejoicing. Jagu kinnara gandharvaha tushtuvuh siddhachanaraha charanaha vidyadhariyascha nanrituhu apsarobhi samam tada. The kinnaras and gandharvas sang. Siddhas and charanas hymned. The vidyadharas and apsaras joyously danced. See, the Kinnaras and Gandharvas, they sing in the Stabha, in the daytime. That time they started singing. They suddenly started feeling as if something very nectarine is filling them. So they started singing the hymns. And Siddhas and Charanas, they also started chanting the hymns. The Vidyadharas and Apsaras, they also got up with all this sound, and then joyously they started dancing with the beat of the songs which these people were singing. Mumuchur munayo devaha sumanamsi mudanvitaha mandam mandam jaladharaha jagarjuranusaagaram. Mumuchur munayo devaha sumanamsi mudanvitaha mandam mandam jaladhara jagarjuranusaagaram. The munis together with the devas, mudanvitaha sumanamsi mumuchuhu, they showered fragrant flowers with delight and jubilation. On whom? On the earth. Because they understood now that Lord is coming and Lord will take his form in the earth. So that not only the devas, the munis also, they started showering flowers. And this wave of Ananda, it spread everywhere. And with that, the ocean started understanding that something has happened. They were ruffled. Lot of huge waves with their Ananda, huge waves started in the oceans. And the waves started dancing. And the clouds, which were heavy, dark clouds in the sky, seeing that the ocean is dancing with huge waves, in tune with that, the clouds also started roaring and resonating in all directions. Mandam mandam jaladhara jagarjuranusaagaram, that is following the ocean, in tune with the waves which were getting ruffled and hugely dancing, the clouds also started roaring slowly and softly. Jagannatha is arriving in the Jagat. No place is without any Ananda today. In the oceans, in the mountains, in the sky, in the wind, in the villages, in the towns, in the forest, in the nature, everywhere there is Ananda and Ananda. Ananda in the minds of the people, Ananda in our ashram also. As just before sunrise, the sky starts becoming clear, and the darkness of night slowly recedes, and also with the sun's rays, the world becomes illumined. Similarly, even before the Lord has arrived, the Nirananda has cleared away from the earth. The misery has cleared away, and the world has started rejoicing. Nishithe tama udbhute jayamane janardane devatyam devarupinyam vishnu sarva guhashayah avirasid yatha pracyam dishinduriva pushkalah. Nishithe tama udbhute jayamane janardane devatyam devarupinyam vishnu sarva guhashayah avirasit yatha pracyam dishinduriva pushkalah. Nishithe tama udbhute jayamane janardane devakyam devarupinyam Vishnu sarva guhashayah avirasid yatha pracyam dishinduriva pushkalaha. At such a time, in the pitch darkness of midnight, jayamane janardane, nishithe tama udbhute, in the pitch darkness of midnight, at such a time, Mahavishnu, the resident in the hearts of all, sarva guhashayah Vishnu, avirasit, he was born. Mahavishnu, the resident in the hearts of all, was born. Devakyam devarupinyam, he was of divinely beautiful Devaki in her lap. The Mahavishnu who has taken birth, he was born in the lap of Devaki, who is divinely beautiful. Yatha pushkalaha induha iva, like the full moon, pratyam dishi, like the full moon rising on the eastern horizon. As the full moon arises in the eastern horizon, like that, Mahavishnu has taken birth in the lap of Devaki, who is divinely beautiful. Tamadbhutam balakamanju ambujekshanam chaturbhujam shankhagadaayudayudham Srivatsalakshmam galashobhikaustubham Pitambaram sandrapayodasaubhagam Maharya Vaidurya Kirita Kundalatvisha Parishvakta Sahasra Kundalam Uddama Kantyangada Kankanadibhi Virochamanam Vasudeva Ikshata Tamadbhutam Balakamambujekshanam Chaturbhujam Shankhagadaayudayudham Srivatsalakshmam Galashobhikaustubham Pitambaram Sandrapayodasaubhagam Maharha Vaidurya Kirita Kundalatvisha Parishvakta Sahasra Kuntalam Uddama Kantyangada Kankanadibhi Virochamanam Vasudeva Ikshata. Lotus-eyed, four-armed, sporting the conch, mace and other weapons, with the luminous Srivatsa mark on the chest and the shining Kaustubha on the neck, wearing a yellow cloth, possessed of the majesty and grace of a heavy rain cloud, with locks gleaming with the luster of the diadem and earrings studded with precious stones, bedecked with splendorous ornaments like bracelets, armlets, and waist girdle. Such was the luminous form of the unique child that greeted Vasudeva's vision. He was born, and Vasudeva saw him in this form. Ambujekshanam chaturbhujam shankhagadaayudayudham, lotus-eyed, four-armed, sporting the conch, mace and other weapons, Srivatsalakshmam galashobhikaustubham, with the luminous Srivasta mark on the chest, and galashobhikaustubham, the shining Kaustubha on the neck, Pitambaram, wearing a yellow cloth, Sandra Payodha Saubhagam, possessed of the majesty and grace of a heavy rain cloud, Maharha Vaidurya Kirita Kundalat Visha Parishvata Sahasra Kuntalam, with locks gleaming with the luster of the diadem and earrings studded with precious stones. Uddama Kanchi Angada Kankanadibhi, bedecked with splendorous ornaments like bracelets, armlets and waist girdle. Virochamanam Tam Adbhutam Balakam Vasudevam Aikshata. Such was the luminous form of the unique child that greeted Vasudeva's vision. And dear children, this is the description of the little Krishna who was born, and who then, having come to the earth, had done lot of Leela, lot of sports, from the time he was born until he left the earth. This is what we should keep in our heart, this figure, and the Krishna, who is none but our indweller, our own soul. So today, this Krishna Janmashtami day, along with all the rejoicing, everything, we must know what Krishna is, what Krishna has told us, and also we should become what he has wanted us to be. I'll chant all these shlokas again and we'll stop after that. अथ सर्वगुणोपेतः कालः परमशोभनः यर्हेवाजनजन्मर्क्षं शान्तर्क्षग्रहतारकं दिशप्रसेदुर्गगनं निर्मलोडुगणोदयं महीमङ्गलभूयिष्ठ पुरग्रामव्रजाकरा नद्यः प्रसन्नसलिला ह्रदा जलरुहश्रियः द्विजालिकुलसन्नादस्तवका वनराजयः ववौ वायुः सुखस्पर्शः पुण्यगन्धवः शुचिः अग्नयश्च द्विजातीनां शान्तास्तत्र समिन्धत मनांस्यासन् प्रसन्नानि साधूनाम् असुरद्रुहां जायमाने अजने तस्मिन् नेदुर्दुन्दुभयः समं जगुः किन्नरगन्धर्वाः तुष्टुः सिद्धचारणाः विद्याधर्यश्च नऋतुः अप्सरोऽभिसमं मुदा मुमुचुर्मुनयो देवाः सुमनांसि मुदान्विताः मन्दं मन्दं जलधरा जगर्जुरनुसागरं निशीथे तम उद्भूते जायमाने जनार्दने देवक्यां देवरूपिण्यां विष्णुः सर्वगुहाशयः आविरासेद् यथा प्राच्यां निशीन्दुरिव पुष्कलः तमद्भूतं बालकमम्बुजेक्षणं चतुर्भुजं शङ्खगदायुधायुधं श्रीवत्सलक्ष्मं गलशोभितौस्तुभं पीताम्बरं सान्द्रपयोदसौभगं महार्हवैडूर्यकिरीटकुण्डल त्रिषा परिष्वक्तसहस्रकुन्तलम् उद्दामकाञ्चङ्गदकङ्कणादिभिः विरोचमानं वसुदेवमैक्षत विरोचमान वसुदेवैक्षत. नमस्ये पुरुषं त्वाद्यमीश्वरं प्रकृतेः परम् अलक्ष्यं सर्वभूतानाम् अन्तर्बहिरवस्थितं कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः. नमः पङ्कजनाभाय नमः पङ्कजमालिने नमः पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ये पङ्कजाङ्घ्रये नमो किञ्चनवित्ताय निवृत्तगुणवृत्तये आत्मा रामाय शान्ताय कैवल्यपतये नमः. आत्मा रामाय शान्ताय कैवल्यप्रतये नमः. एकोऽपि कृष्णस्य कृतप्रणामो दशाश्वमेधा बभृतेन तुल्यः दशाश्वमेधे पुनरेति जन्म कृष्णप्रणामी न पुनर्भवाय कृष्णव्रताः कृष्णमनुस्मरन्तो रात्रौ च कृष्णं पुनरुत्थिताये ते कृष्णदेहाः प्रविशन्ति कृष्णम् आज्यं यथा मन्त्रहुतं हुताशे आज्यं यथा मन्त्रहुतं हुताशे अङ्गनामङ्गनामन्तरा माधवो माधवं माधवं चान्तरेणाङ्गना इत्थमा कल्पिते मण्डले मध्यग संजगौ वेणुना देवकी नन्दन अङ्गनामङ्गनामन्तरा माधवो माधवं माधवं चान्तरेणाङ्गना इत्थमा कल्पिते मण्डले मध्यग संजगौ वेणुना देवकी संजगौ वेणुना देवकी नन्दन अङ्गनामङ्गनामन्तरा माधवो माधवं माधवं चान्तरेणाङ्गना इत्थमा कल्पिते मण्डले मध्यग संजग वेणुना विना देवकी नन्दना. Okay. Could have chanted some more, but voice is not cooperating. I think we can stop.